Hey there! Today we're going to make a few teardrop shaped beaded earrings. I like to use teardrops because I think they flatter most face types. And so I make my own teardrops and I have them in different sizes. So depending on the earrings I'm trying to make, I make the teardrops and then do the beading. I'm going to make these 1.5 inch earrings and we're going to bead them. So to make this frame, I'm going to start with 16 gauge copper wire. I'm going to need flush cutters to cut the wire, a ruler to measure the length. You're also going to need a needle nose plier to make adjustments to the wire that we fold. And then we're going to use bail making pliers or round nose pliers to make your loops. And then lastly, if you need one, a pair of bent nose pliers. Okay, so to get started with that, what I'm going to do is first cut this end to ensure that it is a flat flush cut. And so I'm going to use the flush side of the flush cutters, and make sure to put your finger there so you don't have pieces of copper flying around. And then I'm going to measure out 4 inches of the 16 gauge copper wire, and again use the flush side on the side you want to keep for your finished piece. And I'm flipping the flush cutter around, cutting the other piece, and then I put this up against the flat part of the metal here to ensure that both of my pieces of copper are the same size. So now I have 2 lengths of 4 inch copper wire. And I'm going to use this. You could use a bottle cap, you could use anything that's round that can hold its shape to shape this. So first I'm going to take the smallest step of the bail making pliers and make a loop on one end, and I'm not centering the loop, I'm just making the loop and putting that down. And I'm going to do the same for the second piece. And then I'm going to take my larger bail making pliers, but again, you could use a bottle cap like this one, and then shape it around that. Okay. But make sure whatever you use it consistently so both your earrings are the same shape. And then, so I'm going to use the middle step on this one and shape the wire around. And I'm going to do the same for this one. Shape the wire around. So I have 2 pieces here. And now to make sure that I attach this and close it out, so this is how I do it. I loop it over and fold it over the other wire. So I'm going to take this one end and tip it over, so then you have a fold, a U-shaped fold. And I'm going to do that on this end too. U-shaped fold. And then you basically adjust it around this to make sure they overlap. And then you can close it out with a bent nose plier, with your needle nose or bent nose pliers. There. And so I'm going to just make my adjustments. I like to use my bent nose pliers so this, it gives me a little more control here. And then I'm just going to press this down so there is no movement and it holds its place. There you go, that's one. I'm going to do that for this one too. Okay. Now you could use this as is. I like to just open this loop up and line it up with that edge. I like to do that, and that's personal preference, so I'm going to do that for mine. And then also you now have this finished and you get your smooth round wires, or you can work harden them and give them a little texture using a metal block. And so this steel block, it's totally optional. I like to do this. I'm going to hammer this a little bit and show you what the texture will look like. So make sure you have the right side up to see the texture, and then slowly hammer this. So this work hardens the metal. It also gives it nice texture, and when the light hits it, it looks really good. So you can find these on my Etsy page, and I'll put the link down below. I have some that are a little over 1 inch, and so those make some great small daily wear teardrop earrings. And then I have a pair that is a little over 1.5 inches, and then this one is a little over 2, and then this one is 2.5 inches. You can choose one of the two options. Either you want the round, no hammering, or you want the textured frame, and then you get the frames like this. You can choose your size, and if you want other sizes, let me know. I'm happy to make them, and then I get them shipped out to you. And I'm going to pick this one, the one that's a little over 1.5 inches, and we're going to bead our earrings. You're going to need a pair of ear wires or French ear hooks, and then any beads that you want to use. What you will need is some needle nose pliers to help you wrap the wire, some flush cutters to cut it, and then in addition to the frame, I'm also going to use 28 gauge copper wire to wrap the beads. Okay, so to start, I'm going to cut these off the string. I'll get this all set up and then be right back. All set up here, I have the wood beads on my left, the green and the blue, and then I have the seed beads on my right, again the light green and the blue. And here are the frames and the ear wires. So we are going to get started. I'm taking my copper wire and I'm going to start with wrapping it about 5 times. So I hold it over the wire like that. We have the 5 wraps done. We can start beading on the top. So then we're going to string the seed bead on. I'm going to start with the blue and just put 1 bead on, slide it all the way to the bottom of the wire, and then it's nestled in there, and then wrap. And you could use your needle nose pliers at this length of wire. I feel comfortable just using my fingers, so I'm just going to do that. And for these, I just do 3 wraps. So I start with 5 and then just do 3 wraps for the rest, and then end with 5 again. 1, blue wooden bead, you could just make the blue beads here into 1 pair of earrings and then do green beads into another pair, so I can get 3 styles out of this combination, and 1 mixed. And then I'm going to do the green seed beads. String them, put them to the top. Okay, so I only needed 3 there, so I'm going to get these 2 off. And then continue to wrap. So that's my 3rd wrap. And then I'm going to take the green beads You get the third one there. Can you hear my cat? That's Lee Marvin being chatty. He gets chatty in the morning. Okay, so that's the green. I hold it up there, make sure it's taut, and then do my 3 wraps. And you'll see here my wraps are next to each other. I'm making sure not to overlap them, and I'm trying to put them as tight together as possible, but you could also use your needle nose pliers to adjust them. Last row with the green wooden beads. So that would be our final row. That looks good. And what I do here is go to the back, use my flush cutters and snip off the edge, and then use my needle nose pliers to tuck that edge in so it doesn't catch in any clothing or hair or skin. And if you find your wires are not aligned and lined up, take an extra minute to do this because it does make the piece look more professional and finished. Here we have the finished pair of earrings, and I'm just going to now attach the ear wires. I hook my pairs together so I have the closest matches together, and then I'm not looking for the other earring. So here I open it, I twist the loop up. You don't pull it apart, you twist it up so it retains its round shape, and then make sure the front of your earring is facing the front of the hook, and then I twist it back and close that. And then I would do the same here, twist that open, attach my earring to the ear wire and close it. There you have a pair of beautiful blue and green mixed material earrings. The finished pair will be on my Etsy page, and so will all the components if you want to make your own. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a beautiful day.